Today I'm proposing something that I hope will change that. It is the creation of a cabinet-level position for someone who would be the liaison to, a representative of, and just general facilitator of nonprofit organizations of all types. To get an idea about why this is important, this is a chart showing just the rise of poverty in New York just since 2007 to 2012. You can see there's been a 16% rise in the number of people who are poor. To give you a sense of how poor that is, you've got to be making less than basically $25,000 a year. The median income in New York City is only about $44,000 a year, so that's the median. That's still in pretty rough shape in the city of New York. So what would the nonprofit czar be in charge of doing? One, to compile a green book of nonprofits and faith-based organizations, so at one point citizens can take a look to see what kind of resources there are in their community. Second, maintain a database of need, going from the other direction. Organizations can say, communities can say, political officials can say, these are things that are needed, this is what we're looking for, and to help make the relationships. Leverage private sector resources. Very often private sector is looking for ways to participate in the community. Hopefully this job, this liaison would help that easier to do with government. Establish a grant writing corps. Make it easier for a small nonprofit like Masbia to be able to access some grants that are out there. They don't have the bandwidth to be able to write grants. We would use the community colleges using government to help them access them by creating a core of people who can help them write grants. And also to digitize nonprofit infrastructure. Very often the big obstacle to a nonprofit from growing is they simply don't have the technology to be able to submit audits, to be able to submit checklists. That's why sometimes you have nonprofits who are not on the level getting away with it. One of the things I think that we can do as government is help digitize that process and make it easier. Let me just show one more chart here and then I'll take questions. This is the nonprofit economy and how big that it is. This is the number of full-time employees of the city of New York. Roughly 500,000 employees for nonprofits. So frankly, many of the work being done by these employees are also being done by these folks, and I want to make it easier for them to work together, and hopefully they will. This is one of the ideas in my idea book, Keys to the City. I would encourage you to take a look at it at anthonyweiner.com, and I'll be glad to take any questions that you might have.
But how many women?
So there's two more women out there, theoretically, who can come forward with whatever they want to come forward with.
And that was true the moment I walked into the race.
Correct, but what it does, right, doesn't it kind of take you off message?
Of course.
Right, but let me finish.
Sure.
So why don't you just, right now, tell everybody everything that you could possibly remember about this, so that would all get it out of the way, and then you could just go back to a real campaign?
I basically have. I mean, the only thing you haven't learned, you want names of people, right? I'm not going to do that. If someone wants to bring themselves out, why should I drag them into this? Right? Is that what you want, names of people? And then remember something, these were people I never met. These were anonymous people on the internet. The last woman herself is remaining anonymous or wanted to. Look, I did an embarrassing thing that hurt my family and obviously has put me in this position. I brought this upon myself. Now you're suggesting what I should do is in response to that, and I should try to do, bring all these people out. I regret that anyone who's at the other end of this got dragged into this. Now they may choose for themselves to bring themselves out in the open, but I refuse to do that. I don't think it's fair to them.
Yes, Ms. Quinn this morning mentioned that you have some issues with judgment and maturity. Any response to that?
Look, you can question my judgment. I didn't lie to the people of the city of New York and say I wasn't going to overturn term limits. I didn't express the judgment to the people of the city of New York as part of my official job that I would not do something and then do it to give myself an additional term of office and give the mayor an additional term. Now, my mistakes are manifest. They're in the context of my personal behavior in the privacy of my home. They became public and I brought it upon myself. I have no one to blame for this situation but me.